Hello, folks. Welcome to the Land Tamer stream. Good to have you here tonight. It's Monday night, kicking off another week of study and slogging towards the CCIE written exam, which I've got coming up in 63 days now. So, making haste here to get through a lot of material and do it in a productive way. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to go through a little little lab. This is a little bit more involved authentication. So we're going to do Ospf V3, which I'm excited about because it's IPv6, first of all. And of course, we're going to be using ipsec and then ISIS. So I'm pretty excited about that too, because these are very new areas for me that I'm eager to learn more about and lab a little bit. So I'm going to lab for reinforcement. The other authentication areas I already went through in networklessons.com and didn't spend a lot of time on those. I've labbed those before and I'm pretty clear on what needs to be done there. But yeah, Ospf V3, I'm like, okay, I'm going to lab that on stream, and then ISIS. So that's the written progress. And again, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be skipping. This is IP routing fundamentals, and I'm going to be skipping the other routing protocols for now, jumping to ISIS, since that is part of the written exam and is important for the written exam, as are the other routing protocols. But those routing protocols I've already covered quite a bit of in the INE workbook. But I'm just reviewing areas as I need to. Also, just to vlog a little bit about the Azure Labbing project. I spent a little bit of time on it last night, I should say. I'm probably going to use, so I've got these VMs. I've got this process to deploy, even GVM. I worked a little bit more on the process of getting Git installed and authenticated I created a GitLab. It's a private repo. And this is where I was able to actually sync up my labs, which is cool. So I actually have a repo now with these, and even it's the same in Viral and in GNS3. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure about GNS3, but you can create your lab topology files are editable. And I believe, well, I know that I'm going to show you. So I created this repo here. And I kind of documented the process, of creating the keys, SSH keys to a private repo, and cloning them down, and then copying them into they live inside EvenG in this folder here, UNet Lab Labs. That's where they live. So anyway, I'm trying to automate this eventually automate this process. But I synced up all my labs in Eve on both servers, both the one in Azure and the one in on this PC. Dude, for him, how are you doing, my friend? I might have to go to Eve. GNS works great on my PC, but will not run on my Surface Book 2. Yeah, it works. You just can't console in any devices. Well, that's not good. Interesting. You might be able to hit up Show IP Interface Brief. I know he uses a Surface. I don't know which version. He may have an earlier version, but yeah, he now Tony uses primarily Eve, but he has also done some labs. He also has a working GNS3 lab on his Surface. So, but this definitely lets you. So this is a topology, right? This lab is called Asymmetric Routing Test. It's got the nodes. The image is being used, switch 1, switch 2, the interfaces. So this is XML. So that's pretty cool. And it's interesting that one of the projects that Dimitri worked on early on in his stream was he created a project to use Python to actually, it interacts with GNS3, but it will go out and like query a topology and populate these files and then export them from GNS3 labs or import them into his GNS3 lab. So he did some automation around this for GNS3. I would love to do something like this for EvenG. I know UNet Lab is open source, the UNet Lab part. But man, if I had some more time, I would love to just dig into how these UNL files work and how I could automate this a little bit more. Someone has done supposedly all the UNL files for the INE workbook, and I've downloaded those before, so now I know how to work with these files. I know where they live. I had some issues with the change mod, the permissions on the folder on the EVE-NG servers, but I just bypassed that. I didn't have time to troubleshoot. I'm like, I'll just run this as root. So anyway, that's cool. So I got my labs organized. The labs match right now between, again, both servers, and I have a repo here, so I can actually edit these on my computer and then do a git push, and then I'll also be able to sync them to the other servers as I need to. So that's going to be really helpful, I think, even though I'm going to primarily shift to labbing out of Azure. The other feature I want to explore is called Azure File Sync. Now I'm going to use this feature for the images. So I want a way to easily be able to sync folders between servers, so that if I put an image like the iOSV image, that I could easily sync them to an Azure file share. And supposedly they make that pretty easy. We'll find out. I started working on that a little bit today, creating a template for a resource group. We're going to need a storage account, and I'm going to try to template all that out so it's automated. Anyway, that's what I'm working on there. I am going to go ahead and fire up the Azure Lab, because I'm going to be working out of that tonight. Another thing I found out is I have a limitation. This $150 I get a month is through my employer, and it is an MSDN subscription. If you've ever worked with Microsoft products, you're probably familiar with what MSDN is, right? And how that works. Well, with Azure, when you have MSDN with Azure, you get some cool things, right? You get $150 a month in Azure, and I've been playing around a lot, so I'm still finding it hard to burn even much of this cash, right? The other thing you get is access to like Office 365. You get a whole host of things. But what I found out is there's a limitation to this subscription, and that is that I'm unable to use more than 20 vCPUs in any region. So I tried to kick off a template earlier today. I've got this, my regular VM is in East US 2. That's in one region. That's 16 vCPUs. The larger VM is 128 gig, which is fine, but I tried to kick off another one, and it's like, eh. So what I'm going to do is the biggest VM I'm going to be able to do, I think, with this subscription is going to be a 20 vCPU, if I can find such a thing. And I think memory's unlimited. I'm not sure about that, though. So anyway, I'm going to play with that a little bit more. What I wanted to do this week is just for fun, is I wanted to build the biggest VM I could with my subscription using a template, automated template, and then add as many routers as I could get running in there. Like I want to try 50 routers or 100 routers just for grins. So I may leverage Python and these UNL files to build that topology, and then just import it into the server and just see how that goes. Anyway, that's, oh shoot, forgot to start up the VM. Yep, let's do that. I need a script for that. It's actually not hard to do. So I could run it on my desktop. I could just right click, and there's so many things I want to automate, man. It's just, I gotta stay focused on the CCIE. There's so much cool stuff you can do with this. Get a little sip of coffee here. I was pretty, I'm going to be honest, I was pretty tired leading up into starting the stream, but this always happens when I click that, I shift my hotkeys to start up the stream, and I start playing with this technology, I start getting excited. And I get some energy. And chatting with you folks too gives me energy, so. All right, so that is booting up. Let's go ahead and talk then about networklessons.com and this lab that we've got coming up here. I think I already have it open, and I do. Oh, that's something Dude Prim and I have been talking about. It's Cisco IP classless. I think we're going to save that for a separate lab because there's a nice little lab on here for that. So don't worry, Dude Prim. We'll probably do that this week. We'll play with that a little bit. There's obviously some subtleties there that I need to learn. But this one is the one we're going to work on today. Ospf V3 authentication and encryption. And I already reviewed Ospf V2, EIGRP, and RIP. And as we know, so RIP supports MD5, right? And EIGRP supports MD5, and now it supports HMAC SHA as a version 15 point something on, 15.1 something, which is great. That uses also keychain authentication, which allows you to do sort of a rolling update. And then we have Ospf V2, which supports plain text, and it which RIP does also, pretty sure. Yeah, RIP does plain text or MD5. OSPF supports plain text and MD5, and it also supports SHA HMAC. But there's one other that it supports in Ospf V3, which of course, Ospf V3 is multi-address family. So Ospf V3 supports routing both IPv4 and IPv6, and it's the only authentication and encryption method. Oh, by the way, it does encryption too. So it does authentication via ipsec. So what it's doing, it's relying on another protocol, ipsec, in order to do the authentication and or the encryption of the packets. You can actually encrypt the payload of the OSPF packets, which is cool. It can be very secure. So what I'm going to do is just do this lab here, and let me show you my new labs, my new fancy labs here. Shoot, I closed it again, didn't I? I tend to do that. I just need to create a shortcut here. Yeah, it booted. And I meant to not do that, but to click here. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna get the lab going here. And as you can see, now this is interesting. I thought I had updated this. Oh, yeah. I don't think I ever got that far. I got the keys created, but I did not get the GitHub or the GitLab configuration completed. I was on that this morning. That's right. So I was close. That's okay. We have a way now to refresh. So what we're going to do is create a new lab. And we're going to call this Ospf V3 authentication and just authentication. And this one is how many routers? I think it's just 2. Yeah. I found out I needed to use sort of shorter names because these Kind of getting out of control. Oh man, this is, I'm serious folks, this is faster than my local computer. You know, I don't have a beefy computer here, but don't need it. Yeah, this is going to be a real simple lab, I think, in terms of topology. There's 0. It is fast. All right, so let's look at these configuration. Yes, as we know with our work with ipsec on doing DMVPN, doing site-to-site tunnels, doing GRE tunnels, you have different parts of ipsec protocol. So you have AH, which is authentication header. You know, basically, and there are two types of encapsulation: authentication header, as we mentioned, and the other is ESP, encapsulating security payload, which allows you to do encryption, right? So we're going to do both, I believe, in this particular lab. So let's get our interfaces set up. It looks like in the lab they've given me, it's just using link local, which is fine. That's what we would use typically for communication with OSPF, right? Ospf V3. No. And no. So we'll just probably enable IPv6 on the interface. This would be R1, interface GI 00, IPv6 enable. And let's see what address it gives us. What I've noticed, you know, a lot of operating systems, when you enable IPv6, unless it's an older operating system, it's going to use a temporary address. But on routers, of course, and this makes sense on a router, that it would not use a temporary address for an interface. It's the same with my gateway. Like my link local address of my gateway here at home is a permanent address. Oh, interface GI 00. Oh, I gotta bring the interface up. Same with router 1, no shut. Okay, FE80, F200, FE010. FE020, which is pretty typical I've seen with these viral images. We'll only use link local IPv6, and then we want to enable Ospf V3. So all we have to do here, right? Just 00, IPv6. Yes, I do not remember the commands here. Oh, yep. IPv6 routing. EV6 unicast routing. What am I doing wrong here? Right, unicast hyphen. The hyphen is going to be the death of me here. To hyphen or not to hyphen? And going back to interface, you have 0, 0, IPv6 ospf 1. Interface, jazz 0, 0, IPv6 ospf 1, area 0. So we should get an adjacency here. Oh, yeah. Process could not pick a router ID. Please configure manually. Sorry. 1 second on that. Okay. IPv6 router ospf 1 router ID 2.2.2.2. It has been a long time. I like this though. Process Ospf V3 1 IPv6 cannot pick a router ID. Yeah, I remember reading about this. Router IPv6 router ospf 1 router ID 1010, and you have to use, of course, a number, 32-bit number. All right, we should see our adjacencies come up. Let's see, show CDP neighbor jazz 0, 0 detail. Okay, so let's ping FE80, F200, FF, FE01. Output jazz 0, 0. Okay. This is the one thing I don't like about it. IPv6 FE80 F200 F FE010 gigabit Ethernet 00. There we go. So we have reachability and we have loading to full. Very good. All right, so OSPF is running. And now let's configure our authentication type. So by default, we have ipsec or null, right? So we're going to do ipsec. And from here, we get to choose our SPI number. And the lowest available number, I believe, is 256. SPI, yeah, 256. Oops. Oh, which authentication type? Which algorithm? We're going to go with SHA-1. It is more secure. And hex, let's see. So this is interesting. We have plain text. This key is not encrypted, plain text. The key is encrypted, the key that follows. Or we can do a hex string, a SHA-1 key. Yeah, it makes an interesting point here that normally normally Ike, when you have IPsec, normally Ike will negotiate the or Ike will be used to form the association, right? But it makes a point here, since we can have multiple neighbors per interface, that we have to do static keys here in this case. So let's just create a key. There's a link here to an online SHA-1 generator. And I think the INE lab does something similar to this. So we're going to do SHA-256. And let's put something in here like this is a test hash. Okay. So we're going to do something wild and crazy like that. Did I copy that into my... Oh man, it doesn't want to paste that. I don't know why. Okay, let's just do SHA-1 and 0 A, B, C, D, E, F, G. How's that? What doesn't it like there? Oh, hex string. It wants 40 characters. Okay. Let's do this. Hey, there's a crypto message, which is cool. There's GI00, IPv6 OSPF. Authentication, ipsec. SPI is going to be 256. SHA-1, 0, and we're going to say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. ISACamp, Crypto 6 ISACamp is on, and we have a neighbor. So we're good to go. Now we can do a do show IPv6 interface GI00. Oh yeah, do show IPv6 Ospf interface GI00 include authentication. There we have it. SPA SHA-1 authentication SPI 256 secure socket is up. So that is authentication, and we can also do the show crypto command just like we would in a VPN tunnel. Show crypto IPsec SA256. Interface GI00 crypto map tag. Interesting tag here. The crypto map tag has, it's like interface OSPF map. And this is the IPsec V6 policy name, Ospf V3-256. Here's our local and remote. That's everything, right? Current peer, port 500. Yep, looks like a normal tunnel. Okay, good deal. Now let's look at show crypto ipsec policy. Nice. Inbound authentication header SPI and key. Wow, it's actually showing the key, isn't it? HMAC. Now let's see what this looks like in Wireshark. I'm probably gonna add my Wireshark. Where'd you go? Oh, I don't think I have this working yet. Yeah, I have to install the extensions. That's okay. We can find one out here. Yeah, that's another thing on my to-do list. Install the extensions because it's a community edition. I did it on my Windows PC, and it works fine when I select Wireshark on the Windows machine, but on this Mac, I need to install those. As a matter of fact, this is in the cookbook. That's why the paste is not working either. Yeah, I need to get that stuff working. Let's look at the cookbook here. Touch me management consoles. That is on page 72. Oh, this is the Chrome extension I need to put on again. I'd removed it before. In Safari, hello. An extension. Okay, so now we can do copy, paste, and all that kind of stuff. As far as Wireshark, capture sessions. Let's do a quick search, revert. Problem is there's no handler for capture, so when you create one, this would be done in Apple script. Okay. How long has this been around? 2015? Let's search in the last year. Let's see. It's probably here. Yeah, there's a wrapper bat, so you need to call. G Wireshark Mac. Okay, please says eliminate their issues. Link is below. 2016. Okay, when you click a node, the browser will try to open a terminal. At first step, oh sweet, so I could probably run this. This is a good little write-up here. Okay, he's got a script on GitHub. Debian. Equivalent of Windows clients of Ubuntu and other Linux distros. That's what I need. Ubuntu derivatives. You can install EVE integration with official PPA. Alternatively, you can install EVE integration from terminal. All right, let's give this a shot. Yeah, I don't know that that will work on a Mac. EVE integration, EVE integration, and Windows clients of another. Includes a script. Arch Linux, manual install. Well, that's not really it. You know, for OS 10. Well, let's see what they're offering here. LS temp, we're up here. Okay. Okay, this is still google.com. So it looks legit. UNL Wireshark. I don't know. I don't want to hold folks up too much more than that. Let's just find one on the internet. Ospf V3 authentication packet. PCAP. Packetlife.net. There we go. So we have hello packets. The hello packets should include, depends on when it's turned on. Should include, oh, this is all decrypted though, isn't it? Authentication header. I don't see any signs of authentic. Oh, here we go. Next header is the authentication header. Here we go. And there's the HICV. Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. So where were we, folks? Got a little sidetracked here. Now let's do encryption. So encryption, we're going to do ESP, right? And that is a separate command. Jazz 00, and it is IPv6 OSPF encryption. We have a number of options here. There's the authentication one, enable authentication, and then here's encryption. And IPsec, of course. And SPI is the same. And then we have ESP, encapsulating security payload, and which algorithm we want to use. And let's select AES as the most secure one. And with that, we can use a 256-bit key. And the same deal, except this one has to be 64 characters. So here we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then, oh boy. So we're going to have two keys here. Now I should be able to copy and paste now. Thank goodness. And this is... we're going to use SHA-1 here. And then a 40 character, which we could probably get away with the same one. I still have it showing? No. Okay, this time let's see if we can copy and paste. Okay, here's the online SHA-1 generator. Please allow me to paste. You're not going to, are you? Shoot. All right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0. Interface already configured authentication, so cannot configure encryption. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second. Okay, so we do have to remove the other one. Do show run interface jazz 00. Okay, yeah, because with encryption, we specify the encryption and the authentication on the same line. No, and we cannot reuse this line. Come on, please copy paste. Yes. All right. All right, so now we'll do IPv6 OSPF encryption. ipsec SPI 256 ESP AES 256. Yeah, I would imagine the neighbor is down. No, we're going to do 0. And we are going to do this. Maybe not. IPv6 OSPF encryption IPsec SPI. See if I can copy this right from the lab. It just doesn't want to work. Copy paste. That's the one thing about Community Edition, man. That's too bad. Okay. IPv6 OSPF encryption IPsec SPI 26 ESP AES CBC 256 0 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Only use with the terminal emulation software. Never thought you cannot copy paste when using HTML5 GUI. Yeah. This, I would not have this problem. You know what? Let's do that. For this lab, let's switch to native console. See if it makes a difference. I have to fix my using telnet. Where do I configure that? Well, shoot. Yeah, I should have done this on this particular lab. I should have done it on the local using Pro, and I wouldn't have had a problem for sure. Anyway, I think we see the. I have done this lab before in INE workbook, so I'm not going to fight with the characters right now. But same idea, except this time we do get encryption. And there's a capture file here from the lesson that we can look at. There we go. Ospf V3 AH PCAP. Source, destination. Okay, this is on the interface. Authentication header. That does not look encrypted. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really see the difference. I think the hello packets are encrypted, but I could be wrong. Never done a capture with that in IPv6. Only the payloads. So the LSA, right? The updates, I would think, would be encrypted. So these are hellos. Here's an LS update, right? But I'm seeing everything in here. Let's look out here on the internet. Ospf V3, ipsec, authentication, ECAP. Oh, here's an article, packet pushers. I'm working on IPv6. I get the encryption option covered in relatively easy to read and form. Hey, Mark Milo. Well, this PCAP that I downloaded is from the Network Lessons Lab, and it has authentication and encryption. IPv6 and IPsec ESP. Yeah, that's what I would expect to see. This is lab with only 2 routers running OSP, so this has got to be OSP, but I want to see the Ospf V3, and I do not want to turn off the encryption on my router interfaces. Yes, Wireshark has a dissector built in to decrypt ESP. Okay, there we go. Good deal. That seems... And that's decoded, right? All right. All right, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and configure this real quick on the local lab so I can copy paste. So I'm just going to log out of this one for right now. Fire up our VM. And I want to see. That just doesn't make any sense. And I'm just going to copy the config in there. I should be able to just copy paste. Router 1. And router 2. Yep, these match. Okay, let's fire up our local lab, and it takes a little while. Okay, I started it. There we go. Okay, come on, log in for me. And there we go. This shows all my new labs I've been consolidating, which is cool. But we're just going to do a quick lab Ospf V3. Yeah, that works. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Man, so I'm so used to the other big box now. GI00 and GI00 here. Okay, I have no idea where that guy came from. Whew, I need a little coffee. This is definitely being a Monday in the lab here. All right, we should be able to paste all day long here. If there's one lab where you need copy paste to practice, it's where you have to type in keys. Okay, while that's going on, I am going to prepare for the next lab, which will be ISIS. Actually, there may not be a lab here because, yeah, the first couple of lessons are just introductory information. So we may not be labbing that today. We may lab that tomorrow. Because as far as labs go, there are lessons. So for ISIS, intro, integrated ISIS, and then we've got ISIS authentication, ISIS DIS and pseudonode, ISIS metric on Cisco iOS, redistribution. That should be interesting. Okay, understand. Lol, buy two, get one free. Yeah, man. You get a router. You get a router. ISIS filtering, ISIS route leaking. I have no idea how any of that works. So that is going to be good stuff. I'm going to be learning. We won't just be reviewing things here. We're actually going to be learning some new stuff, which I'm excited about. Especially the fact that ISIS has pretty much been gaining in popularity over the years. Yeah, it just hasn't gone away. Like, I think there was a lull for a while in ISIS in terms of, especially like enterprise. But now there's even excitement about it with the enterprise. We just keep reusing it, and especially in service provider networks. ISIS is still a big part of the service provider program. But it's in the route switch for a reason. And I would not be surprised if at some point, I don't know, they included at least a little bit of configuration in the lab portion as well. All right, so this is router 1. Let's get our magical copy paste ready here. Oh, how I've missed you, copy paste. I believe it is only present within the CCIE. Yes, I believe you're correct, sir, in terms of the route switch, at least. I think we had to know like what it was. There might have been a question about, in the NP, there might have been a question about administrative distance, but maybe that was it. Mentors in the house. Yeah, man. Good bits, buddy. Thanks for using the old Good bits emote. Yeah, SP, they hit you with it in the CCNA already. I'll bet, man. Yeah, man, we're just talking about some IPv3 or Ospf V3 authentication. We're getting to work with some IPv6, which always makes me happy. Used to not be that way, but now I get so excited about working on IPv6. I'm such a nerd right now for IPv6. Oh, does it not have the router ID here? Oh, that's last. Okay. Interesting. Hey, thanks about the new setup. Appreciate it. All right, so show IPv6 interface brief. That's a problem. No shut. Yeah, mentors, glad to see you hanging out with us. Hope everything is well. It was, I don't know about you, but when I got out to go to the gym this morning, it was 53 degrees. So this is the first time I think I've gone to the gym at 6 a.m. without shorts this year. So, dude, for my teenagers coming around to see what color. You know, dude, for him, I bought a plethora of color bandanas, but unfortunately, I can't wear them all because they don't work with the green screen background. So some of them turn my head into like ghost. They turn me into a ghost. Until I get better lighting in here, I won't be able to use them. But I've got all sorts of colors. That's hilarious. All right, so man, I just appreciate y'all being here watching and enjoying. Hoping this is useful to you as well. All good stuff. All very good stuff. Okay, it looks like we've got loading. Awesome. So now we're going to do our Wireshark capture. And let's take a look. I want to see... how do I word this? I want to see not being able to see. Put it that way. Because this should be with encryption payload. So, yeah, man, Florida, it's been warm. Oh, don't do this. Come on. Form. Yep, cooling down here as well. Been a rough weekend. Most definitely catch peeps at the next circus ring. Yeah, we need to schedule one. I want to do one definitely before December 31st. One before the holidays get really going because plus, dude, for him and I have got an appointment we've got a date with the exam into this year. So, yeah, before we get too close to that, we need to do a circus ring meetup for sure. Let me make a note of that. Put that on my projects list here. We should do one first part of November, really. Like this, maybe the second week in November. Circus ring meetup. Yeah, it's just a spin kind of on and being a, you know, tamers of the network. We're going to meet up in the circus ring. We do. Yeah, hey, Mark Milo. If you guys are newer, you haven't been here when we've done one in Discord. Either Tony E or myself have done these before, but we just get everybody together in video chat. So we do like a little, you know, virtual meetup. And last couple, well, I think we've always done them in Discord video DM. So you can do like you can share screen, it's like the Brady Bunch. Or not the Brady Bunch, but Hollywood Squares. Where pretty much everyone is in a window and, you know, we just kind of have a meeting, like a WebEx or whatever. So, we started out wanting to do those like once a month in the Discord channel, but everybody's just so, you know, we had Cisco Live, and then we had Oh, here's ESP. Cool. Yeah, we had Cisco Live, and then we had people with exams. I had some exams. I couldn't even really participate in the last one because I had an exam coming up in just like a couple of days. So here it is, folks. We've got ESP. Okay. Let's do... Oh, that's cool. That's an actual filter in Wireshark. Just ESP by itself. Hurricane, yeah, Hurricane, a lot of life. So this is interesting. I guess the only way you would know, really, that this is OSPF traffic is by the destination. Other than that, there's no clue here, really, that this is for routing information, because it is definitely encrypted. That's awesome. And here's all the garbly-gook, right? Garbly-gook is a technical term, by the way. So Google it in case you're not familiar with that. It's probably showing my age. But yes, garbly-gook is the technical term for what you see down here, which is indecipherable. Suppose you would not even see that if you... Well, I was thinking about that. So, yeah, with OSPF, if you did point-to-point, is it still going to send the hello to FO2::5 though? Let's see. Let's change network type. We did that yesterday in our lab. Interface JS00, IP OSPF network point to point. Oh, we did non-broadcast, right? Let's try it. This is a good learning moment here on that's why I love the chat, folks. It forces you to challenge some of your assumptions that you would not normally force yourself to do. IP OSPF network point. I don't think this would change to unicast. Oh, yeah. So we need to do IP OSPF priority 0. Yeah, because that's actually... Yeah, because we've got 5 and 6. So let's do another cat. Well, we're still capturing, right? Thought we were. Did the window close on me? Okay. Let's see what she looks like. I would imagine you would have to configure via the neighbor statement to skip the multi... Yeah. I believe you're right. All right, well, we're going to do point-to-point. Let's iterate through these, right? Okay, yeah, we still got 02, 05. All right, so that obviously didn't work. Interface just 00. Oh, yeah, we have to go router IPv6. Well, we can do this at the interface level. We should be able to. Interface. Oh, you know what we do is let's try this. IP OSPF. I did IP OSPF network point-to-point. That did absolutely nothing. Right? No IP OSPF network point-to-point. Let's do this. IPv6 OSPF network. What is a manette OSPF interface type? What? Oh, let's do our new, this is cool. So this acts like an iPhone now, the screenshot. And save the desktop. So if we do non-broadcast, that's how we turn it off, right? And the JC goes down, which we understand. Let's also configure the other side. Then we have to do IPv6, OSPF, neighbor. And, ooh, he is, do show IPv6 area brief. Yep, he's that. Heck yeah, everything needs a match, sure enough. Okay, and then we're gonna say IPv6 OSPF neighbor. I think it's just FE02, but just to be sure. Yeah. E0, I need practice anyway. Okay. Show IPv6 OSPF neighbor. All right, we got full. Now we had some FEO2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, unicast, IPv6 unicast. So if we look at one of these, ooh, this would be a good trivia question for my Instagram. I love throwing screenshots on Instagram saying, hey, do you know what this is? Okay. Is there any clue here? Do we have any clue that this is Ospf V3 traffic? No clue. You know what would be fun? Well, I probably won't take the time to do it here, but is to put in the well, let's just see how involved it is here. Trivia time. Which is elected first, the DR or the BDR? Ooh. In Ospf V3, it is the BDR selected first. Republican. Yes, that's correct. The BDR is selected first. All right, so let's do this. Let's change it and let's watch that happen as well. I'm going to save this. Ospf V3 ESP. Want to get a couple of different captures here. I do not know that number. Let's see here. SJ00. Let's go back to. Hey, Blender94, good to have you. That is freaky that you don't have a hint that it is Ospf V3. I know, like all you can tell is that, you know, there's no idea that that's routing traffic. Yeah, good to have you with us, Blender94. Answer, they may try to help you refinance your mortgage. Yeah, probably so. Now, I am on call this week, but I do get a lot of random calls, and that is not our command center. So if that was a command center number, I'd have to pick up for sure, or one of my coworkers has the answer. So if we go, let's change it back. Let's watch that. I want to watch the DR BDR battle. Do show run everybody's just 0 Yeah, the dreaded on-call schedule. Indeed. We're going to take this out. We're going to say no IPv6 ospf 1 area 0. Oh, interface yeah 0. And we're going to change the network type. Start the cap again, and we're going to say IPv6 OSPF network type is. Let's go back to point. Right now, so I almost took a job that had 1 week out of a month on call. Was not looking forward to that if I took it. Yeah, that's what I'm on right now, basically. Yeah, it could be Cisco. No, I don't know of any TAC calls we have open, fortunately. If that was the case, I'd probably be picking that up for sure. And we'll see if they leave a voicemail. That's how you can always tell. Let's see. So we're going to say IPv6 OSPF network point to point. Now here we should see back to our multicast addresses. And we won't be able to tell really beyond that this is Ospf V3 traffic, but we will see, we should see some FF06s. There's a 5. Huh. Have they formed adjacencies yet? Also, can we even tell that that's a hello? El tiburón del cable. Es un buen compañero para todos los ingenieros. Yeah, man, you gotta have, okay, down or detached. So our adjacency is down. You know, this, I will say, this could make it hard to troubleshoot. You know what I mean? I mean, this could make it hard to troubleshoot having the encryption enabled. For sure. Okay, IPv6 OSPF network point to point over here. It is up. Show IPv6 iterative brief. Show run. Let's make sure they match IPv6 OSPF network point to point. Point to point. Oh, I've got the neighbor statement. That's probably why. It doesn't yeah, this breaks it, right? Just like, I did not know that was just like EIGRP apparently. I didn't think this would actually cause harm depending on the network type, but it looks like it does. Now let's see if we get an adjacency back. We've still got a lot of O2, FFO2:5, which is hello traffic. We're only capturing right now on GI01. Okay, now I'm seeing, yeah, ESP. debug ipsec ospf. Let's do debug ipsec packet. IP. Oh, I know what the problem is. No, that's not it. ipsec ospf network point to point. Yeah, what is going on here? Looking for the election process. Actually, right now, I'm just trying to get an adjacency back up. Debug IPv6 packet. Right, clear. Yeah, clear IPv6. Oh, here we go. Yeah, let's just clear it. I was thinking about that too, is clearing it or shutting down the interface, bringing it back up. Clear IPv6 ospf 1 process. Glad to see many new faces on the stream tonight. Welcome, most definitely. Yeah. Melinda, I love that you have the, is that like a Bob Ross symbol there? Oh no, that's something else. Okay. Oh, you know, that needs to be my next emote, is a Bob Ross emote. Yes, clear. Clear! That's funny. Yeah, welcome everybody. Great to have you. Have you back. So what's happening here? We are getting FO2:5s. Protocols up, link local point to point. Neighbor count is 0. Adjacent neighbor count is 0. Yeah. Let's press hello for 0 neighbors. That is weird. Oops. Show IPv6 ospf 1. Yeah, no neighbors. Wow. Okay, let's just shut down the interface. Seems almost like it's something on router 2. Do a debug IPv6. Let's process on the back end got fudged. May need to create a new process. Yeah. Could be. Yep, I think we busted the lab. All right, folks. Well, I think we got some good stuff here on this lab. It got a lot more interesting when we started trying to get the Wireshark packet captures, and yeah, I definitely learned a lot doing that. Yeah, we're not getting anything. It doesn't look like from router 2 coming in. So. So yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. And what I have to do next is, what I'll probably do is go through these Anki cards. So I've been trying to do this after I cover a section. And in this section, which was routing fundamentals, I've covered, authentication. I've covered redistribution. Loop prevention. So I just wanted to go through just see what they have here on authentication and just kind of review these. And then what I'll plan on doing is after I review this, there are 96 cards on authentication. Let's do Ospf V3, 5 cards. How do you configure Ospf V3 authentication on a link? Okay, we've done that. IPv6 OSPF authentication. Must match on both ends. You can also do it for an area, right? They must match on all routers in the area. How do you configure Ospf V3 authentication trailer? A trailer. Now, we talked about the authentication header. What is the authentication trailer? That was not covered in this lesson. There's an RFC dedicated to it from 2014. Currently, OSPF or IPv6 use ipsec as the only mechanism for authenticating protocol packets. This behavior is different from authenticating with present other routing protocols, V2, ISIS, RIP, and RIP-NG. In some environments, it has been found that IPsec is difficult to configure and maintain and thus cannot be used. This document defines an alternative to authenticate OSPF V3 protocol packets so that V3 does not depend only upon IPsec. Oh, okay. The Ospf V3 authentication was originally defined. This document obsoletes by providing a revised definition. Unlike V2, V3 does not include the AU type and authentication fields in its headers for authenticating protocol packets, right? That it has a different header. However, there are some environments, for example, mobile ad hoc networks, where IPsec is difficult to configure and maintain. This mechanism cannot be used for such environments. Oh yeah, you have to create manual keys as well. The primary problem is a lack of a suitable key management mechanism. Yeah, that does make this, that is true. That does make this kind of difficult to implement on a large scale, because how do you manage so many keys that you manually add to interfaces? The IPv6 or the IPv2 key exchange is so useful. I mean, think about DMVPNs where you have hundreds of tunnels. And, what if you were using a Ospf V3 on an MPLS network and you had you know, hundreds of routers to configure, that is a lot of key. Now, granted, you could use the same key everywhere, but that's not the most secure. So there is a strong, also replay protection. That's important too. If you're using the same key everywhere on a large Ospf V3 network, that does make, especially if you use a weak cipher. While techniques exist to identify ESP null packets, these techniques are generally not implemented in data planes. Yes, this makes it very difficult for implementation to examine Ospf V3 packets and prioritize certain packet types, hello packets, etc. So there's that problem too. This document adds support for the SHAs defined in blah, blah, blah. Let's go back to the first, because this will probably explain how this works. To perform non-ipsec cryptographic authentication, Ospf V3 routers append a special data block, henceforth referred to as the authentication trailer, to the end of the Ospf V3 packets. The length of the authentication trailer is not included in the length of the Ospf V3 packet, but is included in the IPv6 payload length. Okay. So you have packet length, LIS data block length, AL plus P authentication, AL equals fixed trailer plus digest length. So it's tacked here on the end and added to the total payload length, I guess. The presence of the LLS block is determined by the L bit in the Ospf V3 options field in the hello and database description packets. If present, the LLS data block is included along with the Ospf in the cryptographic authentication computation. Okay. The procedure followed is the same as here. The way authentication data is carried is very similar to how it is done in there. The only difference between V2 authentication trailer and V3 authentication trailer is that information in addition to the message digest is included. So this is done for Ospf V2. I don't see that here. The way that it is carried is very similar to how it's done in the case of the Ospf V2. The only difference between V2, Ospf V2 authentication trailer. Oh, is that how HMAC SHA is done? Message verify the procedure, except that the kindly recall that this is Ospf V2 authentication type 2, right? The SHA, HMAC SHA algorithms. Yeah, 0, 1, and 2. So this is authentication type 2, cryptographic authentication. Trying to see where the trailer comes in. Okay, fourth, a message digest is then calculated and appended to the OSPF packet. Preparation of key. First OSPF packet authentication trailer is filled with value APAT and the authentication type field is set to 2. Okay. So the trailer is used. This resulting second hash becomes authentication data that is sent in the authentication trailer. Okay, so basically this OSP, you know, this is 2014, right? So there is another way to use authentication in OSPF besides ipsec. Ospf V3 authentication trailer. First of all, let's see if we can find one of these packets. Ospf V3 SHA. Looks like here's how you can configure it. Okay, so you can use a keychain just like you would with Ospf V2. Authentication mode, deployment are normal. Huh. All right. Is this in the scope of the... Is this in the scope of the blueprint? Just when we thought we were done. Yeah, it looks like just ipsec. Well, at least we know what it is. It's cool. It's interesting to know. How's authentication with RipNG? What is the Ospf V3 authentication trailer? It is an alternative to regular Ospf V3 ipsec authentication and operates similar to Ospf V2 extended cryptographic by referencing a key chain. Okay. That's what it is, folks. All right. Cool. Good stuff. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. I'm going to continue studying tonight. This is a late night study night for me. And I'm going to continue studying ISIS. Or get started with ISIS, I should say. And with sort of the introductory chapters. And then we will be doing some labs probably tomorrow night. This is a good notebook I found, folks. And the way I found it was from this link, which is Nic Russo's blog/reading list. And in there, I found this real cool notebook on Multicast and QoS design from a CCIE. So good stuff there, folks. We'll probably wrap it up there. I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to get back to studying some ISIS, which is just some reading. Thanks so much for stopping in. Oh, you're very welcome, Mark Milo. Thank you all for your encouragement. And, you know, it's Monday night, folks, so let's get our plans in place for the rest of the week. How far are you going to get in your studies towards your next goal? So, ISIS is loads of fun. Can't wait to check out lab tomorrow. Keep up the great work, man. Good bits, good bits. Yeah, man, we're going to try to. And I'm looking forward to it, too, because I've only done one ISIS lab ever. And it was super simple, just to kind of get my hands on it. But this hopefully will really help me prepare better for the written exam. So Thanks so much, folks, for hanging out. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday night. Rest well. And I'm sending out the good bits to your labs and your books and your study and your videos. And let's keep on keeping on, folks. CCIE or bust. And we shall see you back here tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Here in the Land Tamer stream. Y'all have a good Monday.